Carter went to a protest. And they said that if you go to a protest, you're supposed to quarantine.
Oh, so that's why he's over at his girlfriend's house?
Yeah, and I think they went to another one today.
Yeah, I saw that Carly posted a video of it.
Living on the edge, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knew Carter was such a bad boy? Did you see the Lego thing?
No.
So about 11:30 this morning, Lego on their official Twitter account says, we stand with the black community against racism and inequality. There is much to do. Therefore, we will donate $4 million to organizations dedicated to supporting black children and educating all children about racial equality. Which that in of itself is cool. But the next thing they did, even better, they sent out an email to all of their toy distributors and said, in light of recent events, Lego has requested that the following products listed be removed from sites and any marketing ASAP. Police station, donut shop opening, Sky Police Air Base, police monster truck heist, mobile command center, police helicopter transport, police helicopter chase, police highway arrest.
What a fun one that is.
It's crazy that they had most of these. And they get even more surreal, too. Police highway...
Excuse me, we've Lego pulled you over for doing a 70 and a 65.
Yeah.
Do you have any drugs in the car?
If you do, we are going to rip your head off. And then lose it in the... either lose it in the bathtub or have your younger brother swallow it, and then we have to get his stomach pumped. Sky Police drone chase.
All right.
And
some of these have to be like remote control vehicles or something, right?
I was like looking them up because they were so like Lego's always had like that like Lego PD like
yeah, I recall that
from like when we were kids. But yeah, all of these were like full on like play sets basically.
Oh,
police dog unit, police patrol cars, Sky Police jet patrol, police brick box. Which that's just what the cops have been leaving around at riot sites. The city police vest, police handcuffs and badge, police station, police bike, police pursuit.
a lot of these are situations that involve arrests. They're all like tracking people down. They're not just like fucking police officers standing there.
Yeah. And then finally, the White House. So Lego is officially Antifa now, which fucking rules.
The White House one's fucking weird.
That's just hilarious, man. So go Denmark. You know,
yeah.
That's what I got to say about it. You know,
yeah. What Legos did they keep around? That's the real question.
Oh God, who knows, man? Yeah. Star Wars, I guess.
Space Force.
Yeah. And of course, the funniest thing has been going on Twitter and just reading the replies to that, because it's just a bunch of people just been like, I will never buy Lego again. It's like, I don't think they give a shit at all.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
That's where we're at. Welcome.
I bet those are people who didn't buy Lego in the first place.
Yeah, or they just absentmindedly did because they don't understand their children.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't know, man. He likes fucking space. I bought him a Lego space.
People are... You know what I saw online today?
What's that?
Just the amount of, like, purposeful disinformation that's happening right now with all the protests and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody posted... Hey, you know that picture of the White House with its lights off is actually from 2015. And all these people are just like sharing it like, hey, you see, they're fucking lying to you. They didn't turn off their lights and all this shit. And then somebody else was like, hey, that picture's from 2015. It's just a stock photo. The lights at the White House were definitely off, 100%.
Yeah.
And then like everybody just stopped responding to it.
Dude, that video, have you seen the video when they kill the lights and the big ass red lights turn on?
Yeah.
That is fucking horrifying.
I mean,
it's designed to be so. But.
Yeah, the whole thing is, it's so fucking weird how people who know that the police are in the wrong are not only lying to themselves now, they're just going out of the way to lie to other people to try to just make it seem like nothing's wrong.
Yeah. The one I saw today that was really fucked up was they revealed that over the weekend, the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Office had been using Jackie Robinson Field hit the campus of UCLA to detain prisoners.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's great optics. Let's use the field that's named for Jackie Robinson to detain people protesting for black people's rights. Looks great.
Ugh.
Did you watch the LAPD Zoom though?
No, I held off on that. And explain what this is for people.
Yeah, so I'll just read. This is from Vice. LA residents endlessly roast the LAPD in the world's most satisfying Zoom call. And the final video, because I think they wrote this while it was still going on, the final video ends up being literally 8.5 hours long.
Oh, boy.
It's an open Zoom call. Everybody just gets in line and they have...
It's basically like a town hall meeting.
Yeah, it's a town hall meeting, but they've got...
But online.
But online, they've got the chief of police, whose name is Michael Moore, sitting there in the top square.
Who is a dumb fuck.
Yeah, he's a dumb fuck. A couple days ago, he kind of got in trouble rightly for saying the police were definitely in the wrong, but for the death of Mr. Floyd, but the protesters are just as much in the wrong. And I was like, for the death they're protesting?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
He said they were the cause.
They were the cause. They were just as much of the cause. I was like, well, but you're saying the protesters went back in time and stepped on the guy's fucking throat?
Mm-hmm. I think what he was trying to say is that cops are so fucking afraid of everybody all the time because they know that people fucking hate cops. So they're just willing to fucking kill people.
Yeah, but even that doesn't make
to defend themselves.
Yeah,
and that's just like a cop justification of why they go too far violent wise.
Yeah,
you know,
which is so wild. It's like, oh, George Floyd was going to be so mad he was going to break out of his bonds and fucking kill me if I didn't kill him first.
Dude, that's what they fucking act like.
Like he's the Incredible Hulk or some shit.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
Like everybody's gonna pull out a fucking knife and stick it in their fucking testicles like a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So and you could go, it's an 8.5 hour long video. So you can just pull it up and just drag that little cursor to any point, and it's hilarious. But I did do some curating today.
Oh, good.
I've got some real.
Did you watch the full 8.5 hours?
I didn't watch the full 8.5 hours.
You didn't put in a full shift?
No, but I the other way, if you want to just see the creme de la creme, just go to Twitter and type in LA police Zoom, because people were just taking screenshots.
People did watch the whole 8.5 hours.
Hilarious. It's I mean, after all this bullshit, it's literally the least they could do is to have themselves publicly flayed by and the funniest shit, of course, is because it's LA. Everybody is really good at doing a monologue. So all of the callers are like, your pathetic attempts at blah, blah, like, they're all like over the top.
Hear
actory.
the acting school in their voice.
Yeah. Nobody's working right now. So they've had nothing but time to craft these, these roasts. But yeah, I'll just read from the Vice article and then I'll play a couple. Hundreds of Los Angeles residents have been directly and forcefully addressing leaders of the Los Angeles Police Department about brutality, systematic racism, and the department's response to the George Floyd protest in what is perhaps the most powerful Zoom call of all time.
What a fucking weird bar to set.
Yeah, I know.
This is the most powerful Zoom call that has ever happened. Zoom has been popular for 2 months.
I was going to say, dude, if you told me, like, if you walked in this room on St. Patrick's Day, or like, I have the most powerful Zoom call of all time, I'd be like, what is that?
Is that an app? What are you talking about?
What is Zoom?
I only knew what Zoom was because I did online therapy through it before any of this ever happened.
It's the whole Zoom thing is, it's very bizarre because, I'd never heard of it before this. I just assumed everybody used either like Skype or Google Hangouts, and then all of a sudden there's a new kid on the block.
Yeah. Damn, I was about to say the exact same thing.
This lady killed me. She was outstanding. So all of the cops are kind of like, they're on screen and they're all like checking their phones and shit. Like they're not really listening to anybody. And granted, it's 8.5 hours, but it's like, come on, man, we're paying you to look like you give a shit. We know you demonstrably don't care because you're tear gassing people in the streets, but you gotta pretend. And this woman fucking gives them the
a lot
business.
of people we've been following for hours. Shame on you. It's not a resignation that we need. It is firing, because we don't need to give benefits to someone who's supervised and watched so many murders. This is insane. Everyone I'm looking at, look at me. Look at me. Hello, Inspector General.
And everybody, whoop, like their heads all shoot up. Look at me. This one right here. So at first, I think they were giving everybody 2 minutes, and then it became lightning round time, and then they got them down to 30 seconds.
That's even more impressive that it went 8.5 hours.
Oh, yeah. And one person, like, their Zoom kept, like, fucking up, and there was one person who was
that's
just
the
like,
problem with Zoom calls in general. I would assume it would be 8.5 hours of it fucking up just randomly.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens.
This person yelled at him. She was like, and she finishes what she was originally going to say. She goes, "Oh, and by the way, He goes, "Oh, and by the way, why don't you take all that fucking money and fix your goddamn Zoom?" But this guy, this is the GOAT right here.
Black Lives Matter, defund the police. I find it disgusting that the LAPD is slaughtering peaceful protesters on the street. I had 2 friends go to the protest in Beverly Hills a couple days ago, and the protest was peaceful until the police showed up with their excessive violent force, shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Is this what you think of protecting and serving? Because I think it's bullshit. Fuck you, Michael Moore. I refuse to call you an officer or a chief because you don't deserve those titles. You are a disgrace. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
I've watched that clip about 6 times today, and I just giggle every time at, "I yield my time. Fuck you."
Well, that's the great part about doing this online, actually, is because all these people wouldn't do this in person.
No, if they had this at City Hall, open forum, how many people show up to that?
Fucking
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
But not 8.5 hours worth.
No.
You know, in this time, you can rest assured that would be a very crowded room.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't be just them getting a tongue lashing for 8.5 hours.
Well, also, if it was in a real place, once people started like cursing and shit, they would be taken away forcibly, you know?
Right.
And that's the other great part about this, is you can literally say anything.
Yeah. They were like, you know, cutting off people who were cussing and stuff, but you can get that in, choke on my dick, I yield my time.
That guy cursed a lot.
Yeah, they didn't manage to get him. So.
Hopefully children weren't watching this thing.
Yeah.
That children should not be watching.
I'm sure.
Dude, I've been seeing the fucking worst white people in the world. All these white people online are like, not all of them, but there's so many that are obviously trying to like atone for racist things they've done in their past. And it's like, I saw a woman write online that she was trying to teach her children to do better, so she showed her 8-year-old the video of George Floyd being murdered.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What?
And she was fucking like talking about it like she did some good thing.
What?
And then somebody else commented, and they're like, "Yeah, I've been doing the same sort of stuff."
I've been showing him Al Qaeda beheading videos.
It's like,
too.
what the fuck is wrong with you? Your kid isn't gonna understand all this fucking shit that's going on. It's been going on for way before they were alive.
Yeah,
and you're just
absolutely.
basically just showing your kids snuff movies. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Unless you're trying to stop them from becoming cops, I don't know what that really does.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't do anything. But obviously, that's why I look at it and it was like, this person has done something fucking terrible in their past.
Yeah.
That they have realized now was bad, and they're trying to go way over the top to fix it.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of way over the top, our friend Brian from Montana sent me this right before we started recording. Yo, call the police. So I believe this is a video from, I think it's from upstate New York.
Yeah, it's from New York.
And it's a man in a Mercury Mountaineer. Apparently has had something thrown at his car by some protesters, so he drives up to them. And
Which we never see in the video.
wait, listen. He comes out. He's got in his hand.
See, that's not even a Freddy Krueger hand is giving him a lot of credit.
It's a glove. Yeah, the Freddy Krueger is a glove.
This thing is like a fucking Klingon war knife. It's seriously is. It's like one of those things they used in fucking John Carpenter Ghost of Mars to fucking stab each other with.
Yeah, dude.
It's some like sci-fi prop sword thing that this creepy old man
made.
I think bought from some weird Etsy store.
Maybe from an Etsy store. I spent the better part of an hour trying to find what it was because I kind of want one.
You fucking freak. The thing is, it's clearly not something that would be made by a company because it looks like shit.
Yeah.
It looks like something you'd buy at like a fucking Ren fair.
Yeah, or like flea market or something.
Comic-Con, something like that.
Yeah, well, the best comparison that I found, there is the Swordmaster 15-inch fantasy knife wrist-mounted triple blade dagger.
What's that? Show me what that looks like.
That one has. We'll put this up on our Twitter so y'all can see it. That one actually has 3 blades.
Oh, it's like Wolverine claws.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Wolverine claw. And then the other one was the Prometheus 15-inch Alien 3 bladed fantasy dagger claw knife.
How are these legal?
I mean, have you ever been to Chinatown, man?
Yeah, but still, like, you can't go and buy a fucking dagger there.
Yeah, dude.
You can't wear.
In Chinatown, man. They have, like, the places that you buy the samurai swords and shit like that. They also have those Wolverine claw fucking hand things.
Yeah, because I think
all that shit.
Those might be legal since the blade is only on one side.
I don't think any of them are legal. I think that's kind of the whole... That's why you go to Chinatown to buy that shit. Because that's also where you get the airsoft guns that look exactly like real guns.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It also looks kind of like a medieval version of the energy sword from Halo. That was the best comparison that I found.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate description with very short blades.
Yeah. Either way, he gets back in the car and in another video jumps the curb and attempts to drive over the protesters.
I wonder what they threw at his car. If they probably didn't throw anything.
If I had to guess, based on the video that I saw, the series of events, he probably yelled something at them. Somebody probably threw a fucking water bottle or some shit.
Yeah.
And then he went totally psycho and actively tried to murder them. So, I mean, this is a wanted man now.
As you do.
Yeah. He straight up drove over the sidewalk and tried to kill a bunch of people.
It's weird with people like him how they think they're gonna stop the protests.
Yeah.
Like, I used to work with this security guard, and like all the security guards at my building used to be in the military. And this one, I was talking to this one guy about it because I liked hearing their stories. Because when you're talking to people who've been in the military and like served fucking tours,
yeah,
they're nuts.
Oh yeah.
They'll just talk about crazy things like it's completely normal.
Yeah.
But this one guy, he was basically just being like, when I went into the military and was about to go over to Iraq, when I was going over there, I was like, as soon as I fucking hit that desert, I'm a win this war for our country. You know,
Christ,
people go in and they're that ignorant about going into a situation like this that's so fucking complicated.
Yeah.
If I just go fucking be tough, that'll fucking fix it.
Just go hog wild on these people.
But then, you know, he got over to Iraq and realized, oh, there's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah. It's all moving parts, actually.
And I can't do anything.
There's not a single stationary part in the whole situation.
No, yeah. And that's similar to how I view these guys who are trying to like attack protesters or group up with people trying to go around and frighten looters or whatever.
Yeah.
They really do think they're going to solve this situation by themselves.
Yeah. As Ron White said, these are the types of people who watch Roadhouse every day and beat off.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
Watch Roadhouse and think it's real.
Yeah.
Or that guy who fucking thought Stone Cold was a carrot, like is real. You know, there's people like that.
It is exactly those types of just like, well, why is Stone Cold wearing a COVID mask?
He knows it's all a fucking lie. It's Stone Cold.
He's a rebel.
He
like
sees
me.
through shit. He's smart.
It's like, yeah, he is smart. You're a fucking dick. I did watch, mentioned yesterday, I watched the full bow and arrow guy follow-up interview.
Oh, there's another. Oh, yeah. How long was that?
It's about 15 minutes.
Okay.
They actually went to his house. And
oh, man. I bet that's great.
He is, I am 99% sure he is wearing, because, you know, it's in Salt Lake City, it's in Utah. 99% sure he's wearing the top of the Mormon underwear, the magic underwear that they wear.
Oh, wow.
Like the Mitt Romney, the temple underwear. I'm pretty, because he's wearing like a very, if it was a V shape, you'd call it a deep V, but it's U-shaped.
It's like a U-shaped.
And somebody in the comments mentioned like, oh, I think that's temple.
It's a deep crew is what we call that.
Extremely deep crew. Yeah, he's riding with fucking Joseph Smith's crew. because he's a Mormon, I think. But yeah, no. In the interview, they ask him when the last time is that he got arrested, because he goes, "I'm a changed villain," is what he said in the last one. And they were like, "Well, when's the last time he got arrested?" And he goes on and on about California's laws.
Yeah, of
so
course.
He's basically, I guess, been run out of California, but he never gets too specific. So they ask him, "When's the last time he got arrested in Utah?" And he says, "Never." And then the guy goes, "Well, we actually pulled your arrest record, and you got a citation in May of this year." So meaning like a few weeks ago for assault and road rage.
Whoa.
So, yeah. And
it's not the first time he's used this bow from his car.
Well, this one, he said that it was like a guy like cut him off in traffic, and he goes off on a tangent about Utah drivers being terrible. And the guy keeps having to be like, no, wait, but go back. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And
well, that's just like all these people we've been talking about for days. Like, they will say or do anything to try to justify feeling like they're right or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fucking people being like, that picture's from 2015. It's like, okay, well, just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean you can go around fucking assaulting people, or I don't know.
Yeah.
You feel mad this guy cut you off, and now you're fucking beating people up on the side of the road like a psycho. How's that just a citation?
Well, that was what he said. They were like, "Well, didn't you get arrested?" He's like, "No, I did not get arrested." And I was like, "Well, that's sort of part of the problem there, isn't it?"
Yeah. Also, that sounds like a fucking lie.
It's probably a lie too, but also if it's not a lie, then it's perfectly demonstrative of the problems with policing that you didn't take this guy into custody.
Yeah.
The whole interview, he keeps going. He's like, "I don't remember what happened after I got hit in the head," because his sequence of events is he says that he yelled "All lives matter" at some people.
I remember.
And somebody punched him in the head. And that's when he got out with the bow and arrow, and that's where the video starts. So he supposedly had already been hit twice in the head. And in this whole interview, all 15 fucking minutes, he keeps being like, "Well, I don't really remember what happened after that. I've seen the video, but I don't actually remember this."
That's what people who did something super illegal always say.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the pleading the fifth.
Right.
I don't fucking remember, dude. I got a concussion. I don't fucking know what happened.
Well, the funny part is then after saying this for 15 minutes straight, he then says this.
I don't remember. I kind of remembered a little bit about the boat. But I never intended to hurt anybody. I just wanted people to leave me alone. I was in panic mode.
You've talked about how you've been to jail and prison before.
Right, because of stupid shit, not because of hurting people.
That means he has like 3 DWIs.
Yes, lots of drunk driving. But yeah, the whole time he kept being like, "I don't remember." And he's like, "I kind of remember."
Of course, he remembers everything.
Yeah.
He remembers getting his ass beat by fucking 10 people.
Yeah.
And you're aware that police are talking about charging you with
Yes, sir.
Do you think that's fair?
You know what? Yes and no. Okay, one, I found out recently from the person I talked to in the law firm that I wasn't supposed to have a bow. I wasn't 100%, but when I came in contact with the police, I told them, as well as your reporter, that I had these things.
So he had to talk to a lawyer.
As soon as he asked the question, and then Bo Guy just paused for like 3 seconds before he said anything, that's so guilty.
It's so guilty, but my favorite is just the statement where he's like, "Well, I talked to a lawyer, and I found out that I wasn't supposed to point a bow at a crowd."
Also, he answers it by going, yes and no.
Yes.
So that's just yes.
A lawyer is very expensive. They charge per hour, even if it's just for 5 seconds to tell you that you shouldn't point a bow and arrow at a crowd.
Yeah.
But yeah, he points out that the positive of the whole encounter was that he was like, I didn't actually shoot it.
Well, he tried to.
Exactly.
It just failed.
Yeah, it failed, and then he got swarmed. Like, yeah, it's not for lack of trying, but he tries to make it sound like, "Oh, I was just trying to
that's like
tell people to back up
and pull the trigger and the gun jams."
Right. And it's crazy because it's like,
no, I didn't try to kill that person.
Yeah, no, it was just a weird coincidence. But yeah, so anyway, that's bow and arrow guy.
I wonder if he's ever been hunting with that, or if that was strictly a people bow.
I don't know.
He gets drunk and just has it in his house and just
Shoots it at a wall.
Draws it back at stuff like a fucking picture of his ex-wife or something.
He's got one. It's like he's got one spot on the wall that's designated
for
that's already all fucked up. So that's where he shoots.
Yeah. He has like a dartboard.
It's bow and arrow.
Yeah. It just has shitloads of holes in it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Chuck Liddell?
Yeah.
Because
of course I do. I love talking about Chuck Liddell, the Iceman.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Man, the Iceman. He went to Huntington Beach,
Iceman cometh.
I didn't really have an opinion on Huntington Beach. Like, very similar to Zoom. If you'd asked me on St. Patrick's Day, like, what do you think about Huntington Beach? I'd be like, I don't know, Orange County. I don't really think about it. Now I'm like, oh, it's the asshole of the universe. It seems to be where all the problems
of Southern
come from.
California, at least.
Definitely, yeah. It's really bizarre. Sorry to anybody who lives down there, but they have not done much to endear themselves to the public writ large, and it's a shame because it's where Samoa Joe is from. One of my favorite wrestlers is from.
Yeah,
down
a
there.
lot of cool people are from Huntington Beach.
Yeah,
including Chuck Liddell, I believe.
Yeah, this is from ABC 7. Fighter Chuck Liddell works to calm tensions among Huntington Beach crowds. That's one way to put it. Retired UFC champion Chuck Liddell sought to calm tensions in Huntington Beach as he walked around unruly crowds and encouraged people to stay calm on Sunday.
The greatest part about this news report is if you watch the video, the news clearly did not know he was going to be there. He didn't know he was going to end up talking to the news. So he gives this super weird interview.
I was going to play it in a second here. Liddell was seen walking around crowds, urging people to remain peaceful. At one point, someone stepped up and appeared to want to challenge him, but others in the crowd helped restrain the individual. That's probably for the best.
Chuck Liddell's real out of shape. You can see it in this video. He's got a huge torso now.
You don't think he could beat some ass on just some random people in the streets?
He might be able to, but he's one of those fighters who fought for way too long, way past his prime, got knocked out too many times. Some regular person off the street could knock him unconscious with one punch.
Okay.
I do not doubt that. That's happened to other UFC fighters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, once you get that fucking brain scrambled, you don't hold up as good,
Yeah, you don't get the same
you don't keep your chin.
Right. You don't have the same reaction time and shit like that.
Yeah, and your brain gets knocked unconscious easier because of all the damage that has been done to you. I'm sure he calls his wife Babe all the time because he doesn't know her name anymore.
Oh, no.
We want to show you one from Huntington Beach. Now, you might recognize this person we're about to show you, Chuck Liddell. He's in Huntington Beach currently because his house is being remodeled, he says. He's from Santa Barbara, so this is his community, and he just really wanted to talk to people who are feeling...
Wait, he's from Santa Barbara. He's in Huntington Beach because his house is being remodeled. ... This is his community.
I don't understand what they mean. Where's Santa Barbara in comparison to Huntington Beach?
So far north.
Oh, really?
Santa Barbara is 2 hours north of here from L.A. And Huntington Beach is, like, with traffic, probably an hour 45 south. So you're talking about...
What do you think his wife just kicked him out? Now he's living in Huntington Beach. His story really don't add up, does it?
Right, but it's just so funny that he's just like, yeah, well, I'm just down here because my house is... being remodeled, but I figured I'd go push around some black kids in the street.
I was at the Chili's drinking some purple margaritas and I saw some commotion. I really don't understand what's happening. I just like pushing people around.
I don't even live here.
Yeah. I don't live here. I don't know my own name.
It's so funny.
Call me Iceman.
Well, even she says it's his community after saying he's only down here because his house in Santa Barbara's like, that's a different county, man.
Take a listen to what he had to say.
It's good to see people defending their city, and it's just terrible. I mean, violence begets violence. Violence doesn't help anybody. We all know what happened was wrong. Everybody I know thinks it was wrong. It's hard to watch. But this does not help it. Destroying cities, destroying people, hurting people does not do any good for anybody. So, hey, protest all you want. Just, do it peacefully.
And he is wearing an NRA shirt and an American flag hat.
Yeah.
That's important.
Any of those things is just a red flag.
Yeah,
you can just assume that they're a reactionary.
It's great that Chuck Liddell, professional prize fighter, doesn't think that violence is good.
Yeah. Well,
he's remodeling his house based off of the violence he caused. But he doesn't like violence. That's the wrong way to take care of things.
Yeah.
Let me go in this crowd and start pushing around some black kids now. I'm really starting to buzz off these pills I took with the purple margaritas at Chili's. That's why they call me the Iceman, because all the frozen margs I down.
I don't ever get a brain freeze because my brain is hot. Because it's been punched a lot.
I could tell the story of a fight that I remembered earlier today.
Oh, yeah, please.
It was at an open mic in Austin, open mic called Gordo's, which is a donut restaurant, meaning that they like started out as a donut food trailer, and then they started adding like actual food items to the menu, like burgers and salads and shit.
Yeah.
But everything came with a donut. Like the burger was on a donut.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you got a salad, it came like on top of a donut. Like it was bad. It sounds good. It's really terrible.
Yeah.
But they opened this one restaurant that had a bar, and there's an open mic there. And it was a crazy open mic because it was like one of those get fucking drunk mics.
Yeah.
For $4, you could get a shot of Jameson and a Pearl, which is a shitty beer.
Okay.
And so everybody's just drunk there all the time.
Did they have a fun name for that combo? Like, you know, how like they'll have the place that's like, you know, a Budweiser and a shot of Jack, and they call it like a Buddy Jack.
I'm sure they did, but I can't remember.
Okay.
But so this guy shows up. He signs up as Matt from Dallas or Mike from Dallas. He's in town for the night. He's never done comedy before, and I guess I guess he's just in Austin randomly. But it's one of those things where he's like, if I do comedy here, even if I'm terrible, I don't have to face any of these people ever again. I think that's why he did it.
No one will remember this.
Exactly. And so he proceeds to heckle the host and every single comic. I'm like serious, every single one.
Oh God.
And it's not like it wasn't always mean. I really wasn't mean heckling, but it was just like talking to the comics throughout their entire set, interrupting the flow of everything.
Thinks it's a discussion.
Yeah, thinking he's being funny too, like trying to like shit like that. And so
I'd rather a heckler. I'd rather a straight up like, you suck.
Exactly. But he like thought he was having fun and everybody hated him. And so he got there late. So he's up like fucking last.
Oh God.
And so he gets on stage and he starts trying to do comedy. And I think even before he gets one word out, I just start going, fuck you, you suck. Boo, boo. And it's just like me doing it. But then he starts getting irked, and every other comic out watching the mic just starts doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So he's just getting booed and fucking yelled at by an entire group of people. He's on the mic. He's fucking flipping out. Yeah, at one point, towards the end of his set, he goes, I've been watching Comedy Central for 20 years. That's how I know all you guys fucking suck at comedy.
He said this into a microphone on stage.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then he like basically threatened to fight just anybody, you know.
Yeah.
And so we all went out into the parking lot, and basically like one of the comics was just like chosen. It was like, okay, Aaron, it's you. And it was just like shoved in front of this guy.
Yeah.
And then they proceeded to fight, and Aaron beat his ass. And that was the Matt from Dallas story.
Oh my God.
And right before the fight, he also yelled, I've been doing karate for 20 years. And then we had to break up the fight when he was getting his head slammed against the car bumper.
Did he attempt some karate?
It was one of those just fucking drunken street fights where like they throw a couple punches and they're kind of wrestling around and punching, and then that's when they got him in the position where he's just hitting his car or heading to the car. And then he tried to, after the fight was broken up, he tried to like sucker punch the guy, but I stopped it from happening. So I'm a hero too, even though I caused the entire thing.
Hell yeah!
I blame it on a Jameson and Pearl.
Yeah. So did you just see him like about to punch him and just like grabbed him or something?
Yeah. Well, he was like running around like the group of people to try to get behind him, and he kind of had his arm cocked like back, like clearly sucker punch position.
Right.
And I kind of caught him I kind of literally caught him in like a kind of like rock bottom sort of thing.
Oh, hell
and just
yeah.
like threw him on the ground.
Nice.
And then, yeah.
Give him a good old Texas Stan Hansen lariat.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved it.
Yeah.
And after the getting slammed on the ground, he was done with it all. I think that usually does it.
And then he had to drive back to Dallas.
Drunk, yeah. Drunk and beaten up.
And failed at comedy.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's a long ride back.
That's a fucking rough first time doing a mic.
Yeah, I've driven between Austin and Dallas sober and with my confidence. And
Yeah.
that's a long trip.
Still 4 hours, no matter what.
Oh, speaking of Dallas, this actually is from Twitter user Isaac N from Dallas, Texas, at Isaac Tweeting. Tweeted this out, and I just thought this was just outstanding. So the tweet says, "One of my best and oldest friends broke up with his high school girlfriend over a decade ago. Today, his wife of 7 years found this absolute ornament in their mailbox."
Okay.
All right. This is dated May 20th, 2020. Name redacted. "It has been nearly 10 years since I learned that you stole my daughter's virginity." 10 years later,
Yeah.
he gets this note. "Initially, it was my intention to forgive you, but after I confronted you about it, you expressed repentance. I later learned that you have since gone and done the same to others."
All right.
This guy's been married for like 7 years now. "Moreover, you have regarded the matter more like winning a game than the despicable deed that it was. So I have decided to irrevocably retract any offer of forgiveness. In the interim, I have thought, prayed, and studied the scriptures, seeking an appropriate response. At the time, I was a man of modest means, and you deliberately took from me my most precious treasure."
It's weird when people are so religious that they just become hyper-focused on their daughter's sex life.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
This woman is presumably 28 years old. "Yeah, you took from me my most precious treasure, a treasure that I invested my heart and soul and every available resource in creating.
Man.
For a brief pleasure, you forever took from me the sublime joy of giving my pure virgin daughter away in marriage to her chosen husband.
Man.
Moreover, you broke the trust with me and with God."
It's cool that women are objects, right? That's so fucking badass that you get to give them away.
Oh, buddy, this gets so crazy. "Since you have not raised a daughter, you cannot imagine the emotions and feelings that I have endured without relief since then." So this guy's just been like tossing and turning at night, like, no.
My daughter's hymen.
Yeah, my daughter got boinged in the back of a Honda Civic. However,
Probably in his own house. Let's be honest.
yeah, he can still hear the shaking of the floorboards and stuff. So he says, "However, I will tell you that my wrath against you is so great that to kill you by prolonged and extreme torture, followed by the thorough desecration and destruction of your corpse, would not be enough to extinguish my anger.
All right.
However, I am restrained in doing violence against you by the sole fact that I have given my heart to our Savior Jesus Christ. And doing willful harm to a fellow Christian is an impossibility." So he's saying, I am psychotic enough to kill you and play with your dead body, but I won't because I go to church.
I assume this guy's Catholic.
Who knows?
Because that's the typical Catholic, I can do anything, and then God makes it okay later.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have no idea. I could see it going either way as far as Protestant or Catholic. This is Dallas, Texas, so I'm assuming evangelical is shit is what I'm assuming.
Those are the two things that you can be there.
Let's see. I would play with your dead body. Let's see. Okay. "Moreover, I cannot hate a person enough to desire that they should suffer eternal torment in hell, so I have sought a resolution somewhere in between these extremes. After years of searching, long nights spent in examining possible courses of action, I have settled on a form of restitution that fits the principles that God ordained in his revelation of the scriptures. It is revealed in the following points. 1. When Jacob sought to marry Rachel, the daughters of Laban, they agreed that Jacob would first serve Laban for 7 full years, tending his herds, flocks, and tribes. Therefore, if we had mutually agreed that you could marry my daughter, the equivalent of 7 years of your full-time service would have been a reasonable bride price." So he's saying that, like, if in some other reality they had gotten married, he would owe him 7 years of tending sheep.
Yeah, he just
according to the Bible,
he wants a slave
for 7 years, which I know a lot of married guys. I never heard of that one. Number 2, however, we had no agreement, and you took my daughter's virginity through deception and seduction. Therefore,
that's how it's done, baby.
Therefore, it was stolen, and you are a thief and a liar. And the scriptures state that when a thief is discovered, he must repay sevenfold what was stolen, even to all that he has. In fact, if a thief does not have the means to make full restitution, they may be sold into slavery as well. Therefore, the restitution is 7 times 7 years. So he's saying this guy already theoretically owes him 7 years for a bride price, but now because he's a thief, it's 7 times 7.
So 50 years.
Yeah, it says, therefore the restitution of 49 years of the prime of your life, for you have no material possession, nor is there any amount of labor or money I would accept as restitution. Moreover, the law of Moses states that a father may refuse marriage to his daughter to a man who seduces her, but still require the bride price. So I have decided to petition the courts of heaven, which I didn't know you could do that. I've decided to petition the courts of heaven to take from you and give to me which is your dearest possession, your youth, and all the good that goes with it. Specifically, I demand divine restitution that will age you and your body 49 years and will rejuvenate me 49 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He's the evil comic book villain.
He's asking for 49 years of life force, I guess. Therefore, if from this date you discover that you have aged significantly, know that this is not a medical condition. This is the judgment of God. There is nothing you could do to restore my daughter's virginity and our family's honor. You have also stained your family's honor, but that is another matter that you must face with the Lord.
All right. It's crazy that this guy is reading the Bible, reading passages, and goes, "Oh, this pertains to my daughter's pussy." "Oh, this Matthew verse has reminded me something very important about my daughter's vagina. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, so it's God sending me this passage."
Maybe it's because I named her Chastity. Lastly, I will add that you have committed the act of fornication. This is specifically forbidden to Christians, grieves the Holy Spirit, and condemns the perpetrator to eternal torment in hell. I have actually seen hell firsthand, sir. Okay.
His daughter's hymen being destroyed in his mind over and over again every day for 10 years.
Hell is played on the back of my eyelids when I shut them. It's just you and my daughter on a hot, sticky Texas summer evening. Oh, God!
The humidity!
No, it's not the heat, it's the humidity and the humanity. With this restitution, your debt to me will be paid. I do not know how many other parents you have similarly swindled and robbed, but that is of another matter, and how you will reconcile with them is your concern. However, you must still repent and ask God for his forgiveness in hopes of salvation. I do not expect that he is pleased with you right now.
Damn.
Sincerely, name redacted. So
that's something you hope is fake, but you know it's not.
Oh, it's not, because I was like, this seems too good to be, and then I like did some digging and I found like the follow up.
Yeah.
Where, because the guy who posted it, like he kind of did it anonymously because he didn't want to like out his friends necessarily, but he was like, yeah, I talked to my friend, and no, he's not aged 49 years overnight, and he's still married.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen after a year. He's going to be like, damn, I feel like I've aged 5 years.
Yeah. So,
and after a year, Grandpa's going to be going, ooh, I feel, thanks to my daughter's pussy,
I'm all revved up.
I have a life force which will continue far beyond what God intended.
That letter is so long and crazy. And the fact that it took him, he's not. And the other update, by the way, is that he did text his ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago, and she was basically like, Jesus Christ, my dad's fucking insane. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what always happens when people have a father or parent like that, is that they become exactly like them, which she clearly wasn't because she lost her virginity out of wedlock.
Sure, yeah.
And they just grow up to be like, God, I can't even fucking talk to my own family.
It always goes. Yeah, it goes one of two ways. They either become exactly like them, or they go the opposite direction, and then eventually become like them again.
Yeah.
So
she'll be writing crazy letters in 30 years.
yeah,
It's what happens with everybody. They either lose faith or they fucking start gaining it immensely.
yeah. Well, my thing is like a lot of the kids I went to high school with who were like confirmed fuck ups are now like full on like Jesus Magna.
Yeah.
Like,
I know a guy like that.
Or the people that in high school were extremely religious are now just like chill.
Yeah.
They might still be religious, but they're not like shitheads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely, one of the guys I used to fucking hang out in a shed behind his house and smoke weed got into religion, and his wife is really religious, and I think what happened is they couldn't stop cheating on each other. So he became religious so he could pray about it.
Yeah.
And he stopped drinking, so I think that's why he's not cheating on his wife anymore.
Yeah,
and she is cheating on him back in retaliation.
Hey, that's only fair is fair.
Yeah, and he's religious now, which is shocking because he used to fucking be he was the craziest one out of all of us.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, fucking absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think guys like that look at it and they find God, quote unquote, and they go, you know what? The reason why I was such a deranged, fuck up psychopath doing all that shit on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I didn't accept God fully into my life.
Right.
And I think at the time I can remember he would talk about God. Like, I think he believed God existed, but he didn't, do anything that somebody who believes in God should do.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, roll another Xanax blunt and chill out.
I like to think, because this letter is so long and so crazy and so detailed, I think it legit took him 10 years to write this. Like, he's been sitting there.
Oh, absolutely.
Every night. Just,
I think, the first several pages probably took like 3 years.
Yeah.
And then the next couple took 3 years of just not writing, but just thinking about what he wanted to say,
Pissed, dude.
Those arguments you just play out in your head so that you can win them and feel smart? That's what he was doing.
Yeah. Probably not unlike the guy who got his ass kicked at the open mic. Just the whole way back to Dallas, just being like, God damn it, I wish I fucking said this. That one guy, fuck him.
I bet he was also being like, I have watched Comedy Central 20 years and they all fucking sucked.
Yeah. I watched my daughter for 17 years. God damn it.
You know how much money I put into that?
The wedding was going to be beautiful, and now I have to dress her in a black dress with dead flowers.
She was going to marry a rich man.
And now she's worthless.
Now she'll be lucky to marry the oil change guy with deer heads in his office.
Yeah, exactly. He won't give me my bride price of 18 head of sheep. my doubloons I was promised.
Yeah, that's some certifiable psycho shit. Anytime you start intertwining religion and sexuality, it's fucking trouble.
It's weird.
It's never not been trouble.
It's always weird.
Oh, man.
We did have somebody actually asking for some advice. This is from @TheseMedlinKids. How'd you guys deal with moving out of state? My fiance and I are getting married in August, and a couple weeks later we're moving to Texas, and we are having a hard time with it. Obviously, we're excited to start anew, but it's such a big change.
Dude, I don't even know what to tell you. I've lived in 2 states my entire life.
Yeah.
One being Texas, the other being California.
Yeah.
I've lived here for 3 years now. And it's fucking surreal. If you've only ever... I lived in Texas for 29 years.
Yeah.
So, that's... And only in the same city, too.
Right.
So that's even more of just like a townie type shit. And I was a fucking townie.
Same here, man. Yeah.
And moving out here was fucking... It doesn't feel real for a long time.
Right.
And I don't know if that's just here or anywhere, but it really doesn't... It took me 2 years before I would wake up and go, I live in LA. That would be a conscious thing, I think. Because, when you first get to somewhere, you have this like sense of you're visiting or something. But then all of a sudden you're just like, you're waking up in the same place every day. You have no intention to leave, but it still doesn't feel like home. And you have to just kind of accept that and kind of go around what's near you and try to find some semblance of what you enjoyed about your old town and some new version of that here. Or wherever you're going to be, but also try new things that you've never done before. Yeah. Because that's a fun part about moving.
Yeah, that is actually great advice, because I'm kind of in the same boat. I lived in Auburn for 24 years with the slight detour of I went to college in a very small town outside of Birmingham called Montevallo for a year. But other than that, I've only ever lived in Auburn, Montevallo, and Los Angeles.
Well, didn't you live in Berkeley for a month?
Yeah, I lived in San Francisco for 4 months, but that felt like a vacation what's weird is like that one felt what you're describing to me, where I was just like, I'm in San Francisco, weird. And then when I got here, I was like, I felt very comfortable, just weirdly.
I would have a weird thing where I'd wake up in this like half sleep deja vu, and I would like, when I'd still have my eyes closed in bed, I would like feel like I was sleeping in my bed in my childhood room at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, I live in a different state.
Yeah,
The sun's coming up over the mountains in fucking LA, and it like weirded me out for a long time.
Oh yeah. Well, this guy, he's moving to Texas. Well, first of all, he's getting married and moving to Texas. So congratulations on the engagement and the eventual wedding. So you will already have a leg up on me when I moved, which is I didn't fucking know anybody.
That's so important. So I knew one person here, and that fucking saved me, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would have been like without that.
Yeah. I think we kind of gave similar advice at the beginning of the Corona Diaries to somebody who was thinking about moving here. And we were kind of talking about how comedy makes it easy, having a pre-existing, I guess, community,
social circle.
So if you like to play basketball, join a basketball,
hit the courts.
Yeah, find some shit that you like to do, and then go be around it.
Yeah.
Comedy makes it easy because you just kind of show up at the open mic and you're like, oh, here's all the people.
Hey,
and
here's my name. I put it on a list. I'll look at the list and know all your names.
Yeah. I'll know everybody's name. I can pretty much determine who's a psycho immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to, play basketball with them, 6 times before they.
But it also for this guy, it depends on what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Or she or whatever. I think, if you're the type of person that just likes chilling inside your house and watching Netflix and playing video games, you're going to be fine.
Absolutely.
You're going to be fucking fine. You may have to find a new restaurant to go to or something like that.
Yeah. Well, if you're moving to Texas, man, that's the land of the tacos, land of barbecue.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. It depends on what city you live in.
Yeah, he didn't specify where they were going.
Because that could be rough.
That could be rough. If you're going to Dallas, there are religious psychos that'll leave 10-page long notes in your mailbox.
Mm-hmm. Dallas is also has a real bad rap of being the worst big city in Texas, which kind of true. But there's cool parts in Dallas.
Sure.
There's cool people there. There's just a lot of shitheads too.
Yeah.
Just San Antonio, Houston, Austin all have better local scenes as far as art and music and fucking food and shit like that.
I've got some friends in Houston. I've never been. I've got a free ass place to stay. I need to go at some point.
Yeah, Houston's fine. They have fun comedy when that exists again.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Find a thing and join it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll meet people.
I think, and having your wife there is going to be perfect. You
that makes it way...
can go, I don't know, do something together.
Yeah.
Oh, you should start a family.
Yeah, there you go. And then you just won't have to think about what you do with your free time.
Yeah, because you won't have it.
You'll just work and then have kids, and that's it. That's your life forever.
Yep.
That's great advice, actually. Yeah.
It takes care of a lot of the questions about what you're going to do. You know how Steve Jobs says just keep the same clothes so you don't have to think about how you're going to dress?
Right.
Just have kids. You're not going to think about what your plans are for the day ever.
Yeah. You won't worry about making friends. You'll be worried about your kids making friends.
Yeah.
So, anyway...
And to end on that happy note, play us out with a synthesizer song.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should literally end on a happy note. What was the one I liked? The Daft Punk one, L11. Yeah. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley.
I'm at Slam Harder on Twitter and Instagram.
Hell yeah. Ooh, I like the video game noises.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of them. They got like Robotron.
Hell yeah.
Pac-Man.
Nice. Yeah, find us on facebook.com/thegoodspod. We're on Twitter at thegoodspod. Rate, review, and subscribe, everybody. We got a couple new reviews. That's cool. We like having more. So give us a review on Apple Podcast. Is that a screaming baby? Wow. And we'll see ya tomorrow.